Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Training Method Podcast. Today, I'm going to talk about how to build muscle, and this is probably the most common goal that we see in the gym. Whether you're wanting to look better on the beach this summer or you want to improve your self-confidence, the list is really endless when it comes to building muscle. The amount of benefits that we will see from building muscle is crazy, and it's something that everybody should definitely consider if they haven't tried muscle building before. So I'm going to go through protocols and principles that you should adhere to when wanting to build muscle. If you're in a muscle building phase right now, we're coming up to summer. It's something that's on a lot of people's minds. So listen along to this. Take note of the numbers that I'm going to throw at you. I appreciate it might be quite a few numbers, but I'm going to keep it as simple as I possibly can. Okay? So to start off, I'm just going to talk about the volume, intensity that we want to work out to make sure we are building muscle. So we want to hit 10 sets per muscle group per week. Okay? At least 10 sets. We want to work between 8 to 12 repetitions. Okay, that's the classic rep range per set that we want for muscle hypertrophy. We want to move a load that's 75 to 85% of our 1 rep max, and we want to train to near failure within that 8 to 12 rep range. Okay, so when we reach that range, we want to be able to maybe squeeze about 1 more rep out before failing. And finally, we want to keep it to 90 seconds of rest or less, okay? This is probably the most common one that I see people not doing. They finish a set, they pick up the phone, start scrolling through social media. Maybe they're shattered because the cardio's not in the right place. But this is probably the most common one. It's something, if you're not keeping it to 90 seconds or less, that's definitely where you should start. So there are a few protocols when it comes to volume and intensity, and to achieve this, the training split that I personally prefer is an upper lower rest. So day 1 upper body, day 2 lower body, day 3 rest, before repeating that again and again and again. Okay, this will ensure we are hitting all of those volume markers that we want. So for each workout, let's take an upper body workout. We want to hit chest, shoulders and back. We do 2 exercises on chest, 3 sets per exercise, 2 exercises on shoulders and 2 exercises on back. Okay, that means we've got 6 sets per muscle group per session, and then we do that training session twice per week, and then we've got 12 sets per muscle group per week. Within each set, we do the 8 to 12 reps at 75 to 85% of our maximum, training to near failure and keeping our rest to 90 seconds or less. Okay? Start with that and you are well on your way to building muscle. But now we want to think about progressive overload. So this is something I've spoke about before. But when it comes to muscle building, there is multiple different ways of doing this. The obvious one, you can increase the weight either week by week or fortnightly. You can increase the volume. So maybe on one exercise, you can only do 3 sets of 8. A couple of weeks later, 3 sets of 10. The week after that, 3 sets of 12. Before then, increasing the weight and bringing the reps down to 8 again. You can reduce your rest time, and you can increase the amount of time spent in the eccentric phase of an exercise. So this is basically the lowering phase. So if you push up to the top of a bench press, it's that lowering phase where you're bringing it back down to your chest. This should be around 2 seconds anyway when it comes to muscle building, but you can increase this to 3, 4, even 5 seconds. And this is a really good tip for when you want to build muscle. If you're not doing this, definitely throw this in your training. It creates a lot of muscle damage, which is one of the 3 key principles when it comes to building muscle. The other two are mechanical tension. So this is producing force. This is why we want to be in that 75 to 85% mark of our 1 rep max. And metabolic stress. So this is when you feel that build up of lactic acid in your muscles whilst you're training. So an exercise program with all of those three, you will be doing well to increase the amount of muscle that you have. Progressively overloading over time, sticking to the protocols that I said, so the amount of volume and intensity that you need to be working at, and they are really the key elements to a muscle building training program. So when it comes to progressively overloading the muscle, this shows the importance of recording down your training sessions. If you haven't got a program or a PT doing this for you, you need to make sure you're recording down your session, every set, how much weight, how many reps. So then next week or the week after that, you can increase it, increase either the weight, increase the eccentric phase. You can decrease your rest period or increase the volume. Like I said, there's countless ways to do this. But I just wanted to highlight the importance of recording down your training sessions if you haven't got someone designing your program for you. So that's the training element, and obviously I need to give a shout out to protein. So a sufficient amount of protein really is about 1.5 to 2 grams per kilogram of body weight every single day. So for me, I'm about 80 kilograms right now, so I'd want to be having 120 to 160 grams of protein every day. Split this up into 4 equal portions, spread evenly throughout the day, and you want one of those portions to be had straight after your resistance training session. Okay. This then gives our biggest boost of what's called muscle protein synthesis. So this is our basically muscle building zone. So we can trigger this by resistance training or eating protein, but we get the biggest boost from doing both together, like I said. So you get that boost of muscle protein synthesis, go into this muscle building zone, and that lasts about 48 to 72 hours, decreasing slowly before we need to train again. And this is where an upper lower rest training split comes in handy, because we'll train upper body, we'll have 2 days between, and then we'll train again. So that's perfect to making sure we're staying in that muscle building zone for each muscle group every single week. We're in that constant zone throughout our muscle building phase of our training program. Now, you want to keep your calories up, and you want to try and do this in a clean way if possible, okay? Not what's called a dirty bulk, where people eat loads of food, bad food that's just full of calories, and it chucks on loads of weight, but you do have a lot more fat as well. Start clogging up your arteries and your body just feels rubbish, okay? So make sure you're trying to keep it as clean as you possibly can. Yeah, it's not worth clogging up your arteries to put a bit of muscle on, okay? Try and keep it clean. And this is why people have, a bulking phase and then a cutting phase, to try and lose the fat that they have gained over their bulking phase. And this is going to happen because you're going to be chucking loads of calories in. This is going to happen whether you're keeping it clean or not, really. Obviously, you just want to try and keep the amount of fat buildup as small as possible, and that'll be done through a healthy diet. So there are a few protocols and principles for you to follow that you can throw straight into your training sessions, into your training program, and follow along and subscribe and like and share with someone if you believe they will find this helpful. And I'll see you very soon for our next episode. Thank you.